Hi, everyone. Tanya Hertz here. We're talking about social media marketing. And let's go ahead and just dive into the slides. So social media marketing is using social media networks, microblogging websites, other means of online communication where users share personal messages, information, videos, other content as a way to connect to customers. So it's taking something that was designed for social interaction and using it for business purposes. And obviously there's a dark side to this. And whenever we're talking about marketing, there can be a dark side to it when large companies exploit these social media channels for their own means. That said, as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, the fact that we can reach thousands and thousands of people online very quickly and easily, it also levels the playing field between the big companies and individual small business owners, and it really gives us a chance to compete more fairly with the big guys, and it makes it so that you can really expand your reach, and you can do very, very well if you use the tools that are right there in front of you. So you do that by interacting with others online, especially those who share common interests. And so it's really important that you get to know who your customers are, and the more that you are authentic online and connect with them in a meaningful way and show that you know who they are and that you care about them, the higher the probability that you'll do really, really well as an entrepreneur, as a business owner. I also want to make sure that you know about taking advantage of things like microblogging or being online consistently and creating different channels, different avenues where your business, where your company is there in front of people regularly, and you really want to establish yourself as really the sort of expert in that field, or the go-to person, the go-to place for your industry, for your customer. And the reason why the field is now more level and more equitable and fair for new business owners is because of the fact that in the world of social media marketing, you can pay for ads, and that's effective, and you can pay a lot of money for ads to get your business in front of other people's eyes. But you can also take advantage of organic marketing, organic or content marketing, where you are posting on these social media sites for free, and that can be even more effective than those paid ads. And we'll look here in a few moments at a scale between the cost of marketing and the amount of work that goes into it. But as a small business owner, as an entrepreneur, you do have to take advantage of the cheap and free types of advertising, which means it's a lot more work. It's a lot more time that you put in, but it can be more effective. So there's paid social media marketing versus organic marketing. And the difference is just whether or not you're paying. Organic social content, that's what we mean by that, is just you're posting for free. Now, paid content is shared with spend behind it, with money behind it. That helps people reach a larger audience. And you can use some of that as well. But as an entrepreneur, most of us are very tight on funds. We don't have a lot of money. So we need to post for free a lot, and take advantage of the algorithms that help more people to see our ads without having to pay for them. So you can get an even larger reach if you're authentic, if you're posting things that matters to your users. And there's a lot of different marketing channels. And this is the 2022 social networking sites by popularity in terms of users. This is worldwide. Facebook, YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, WeChat, TikTok. TikTok is getting bigger all the time as well. And I'll tell you in a little bit about how you should use videos for your social media marketing because of search engine optimization and the way that Google ranks your videos. And a lot of the other sites do as well. Another one that's not here, I don't think, is LinkedIn. And the reason why is it's worldwide, not the biggest site, but here in the United States, especially in the entrepreneurship ecosystem, you do want to use LinkedIn because a lot of us connect with each other on LinkedIn. But more than that, we want to use LinkedIn because I can show you how to exploit the algorithms in LinkedIn to expand your reach and your place in in Google. So we want to make sure that when somebody goes into Google, when they type in your name or your business name, we want you to come up first, second, third, fourth, fifth, because people don't scroll down typically. And so I could show you how to do that and really, dominate Google. Right. Okay. All right. We'll do that in just a little bit here. On to the next slide. Okay. So there's some do's and don'ts of social media marketing, and I'll say this: there's a lot of things on here, but there's the most important thing that I can say about social media marketing. Number one is be consistent, and number two is be authentic. So consistent means post regularly, post stories that matter to your customers, be real, be yourself, and make sure that people see you in that industry, see your business in that industry again and again and again in positive ways. You don't want to be salesy, you don't want to be pushy, you don't want to a paid ad is different than a free ad. And if you want to use organic marketing to grow your business, you want to be authentic, you want to be you want to put things that people are interested in, and you can really, with not very much effort, you can be all over Google and get as big of a reach as if you were spending tens of thousands of dollars a month on it. Okay. So some basics of web promotions: there's banner ads, which are the ads that appear across the web page. Often they're those moving rectangular strips. There's pop-up ads that burst open computer screens. There's direct email promotion, which is just sending email communications to your marketing list. Spam is unsolicited emails. It's important that if you don't have one yet, that you create a database of all of your emails and contact information, and that you keep in touch with them regularly, but not in a way that's spam. So you have to allow people the option to opt out of receiving email communication from you. And if you notice any email that you get, there's always a way to opt out. This is a requirement of law. You need to make sure that you have that there. But if you are strategic about your emailing and you aren't bombarding your client base with too many emails, chances are they like to hear from you. Now, I'm always talking about consistency and posting regularly all the time. Basically, it feels like 3 to 5 times a week as a business owner. 1, 2, 3 times a day is even acceptable when we're talking about posting. That's not the same thing for emailing. People get too many emails. Everybody gets too many emails right now anyways. And so, yes, you do want to email your client list, and you can keep track of them in any way that you want. I don't care if you use, MailChimp, or if you just have an Excel spreadsheet, or however you're doing it. If it's a bigger business, though, you probably want to be using some sort of a tool like MailChimp or some other direct marketing tool. But no matter how you keep that information, your customers' information, you do need to make sure that you aren't spamming them. You're not sending them too many emails, because then it's not effective, right? We want to do just that sweet spot where it's effective. And so a few terms that you need to know when you're talking about online advertising: a hyperlink is a link, right? This is a word, a phrase, an image that users can click on to go to another part of a document or a website, or a new website or a new document. It's just a link taking them one place to another. And hyperlinks are only good, obviously, in digital communication. When you are making a print ad or something like this, instead you use a QR code, and I'll show you how to make one and what they are in just a bit. A blog is something that you should know how to use as a business owner, and it's a good way for you to post regularly and have content to post regularly. A blog, it's also the word blog comes from, it's like in the 90s. I don't remember exactly. I remember his name was Peter, but I don't remember his last name. But he came up with the term weblog, but got shortened to blog. Blog used to be mostly a written journal that people would listen to, or first read, then later listen to. Now most blogs have a video component because of the power of video. And so even when we say the word blog, we're talking about, sometimes they're called vlog or video log or weblog, or a blog is just something that you share your thoughts with regularly online. And I'll also share with you some resources on how to make a blog if you are interested in doing that. And then you post regularly, you share, and it's a great source of content, and it's important to record. Okay. Whenever I'm talking about mobile device, we're talking about your cell phone, your mobile, your wireless, any handheld device. And because of the widespread proliferation of mobiles, it's changed advertising. It's changed the way that you should be thinking about advertising. Remember that just about everyone has that mobile with them at all times, and that's your way of reaching them anywhere that they are at all times. An app is just short for application. It's a software application that we can use for business or entertainment. Make sure that when you're creating a website nowadays, it is pretty much automatic that most websites, all websites creation tools that you can use have mobile. They create it for mobile as well as for your laptop. Okay, so I was saying link versus QR code. So a QR code is just like a link for paper. That's how it was originally created. It's a square barcode that connects you to a website, a video, somewhere else, some other web content. And you can make a QR code online for free really easily. And then you link that QR code to a website or whatever you want to share with them. And users can scan the QR code. You used to have to use an app to scan a QR code, but nowadays, most phones, you just open the picture, take a picture of it, and it will link the user to that website by then tapping on it. They traditionally were used for print. So when you would have when you make a poster or when you make a flyer or something like this, people, if they have to type in by hand the long URL that you're trying to take them to, they'll mess up. It might take them somewhere else. So this ensures that doesn't happen. So anytime you're making print media, print marketing, use a QR code, include a QR code, but then it doesn't just have to be for print marketing. QR codes can also act now, as they're getting easier for people to use, as links. So you can create these online for free using just a free QR code creator website. You can just type that into Google, or if you have Canva or other design apps, you can type the website into there and create a QR code that way. And all of you should know how to do this and use this for any print marketing you have. And then, like I said, also you can use for other online marketing. And you can take them with that QR code to your website if you'd like, where you can then capture their information or share your information. And it's important, it's critically important, it's vitally important that every single one of you has a website for your business. And depending on the size of the business, the amount of time you've been in operations, you might spend more on a website or less, but it's not critically important that you spend a ton of money on designing a website. You shouldn't be paying a designer, thousands of dollars to build your website. If you're an entrepreneur just starting, you can use any of the free web creation tools, and they're actually really, really good nowadays. And that is enough for you to do a pretty decent amount of business, a pretty significant amount of business, actually. As you start to get bigger, you can bring in people who can help you with your website design and with your site in general, maintaining it, keeping it up to date, and things like this. But no matter what, I want to show you how at the beginning to have a simple website that does the trick, and you can get pretty darn big with that simple website. And I'm going to attach some resources at the end, including how to do it yourself really easy. And I am not a big tech person. I just have to say that. So I'm a Gen Xer, and I wasn't born with a mobile device in my hand, right? I remember the first time we got a personal computer in my house. And so doesn't come second nature to me, but I can design, I could easily design my own website, and I give you tools and how to do that. At the end of this video, there's links on how to do that. And then you can also, of course, use some of the website design tools that are really, really very good. Important thing to remember, though, is that if you do build your own website or use one of those tools, make sure that it still has the feeling of a professional website. Everybody needs a website, needs a professional looking website, and they will judge your website based on professional and professional and just well put together it looks. So you need to make sure that you keep your fonts consistent, you keep the design consistent. It's just so critically important that every picture that you use is high quality. And nowadays, if you have an Apple phone, you can take you can shoot a movie on an Apple phone. You can take pictures with that Apple phone that are excellent quality and are perfect for your photos. Don't put poor quality photos ever. Don't put anything that's fuzzy, because it's going to be big. Just always remember that anything that you're putting, even on a small, you might be looking at it on a small tablet, a phone, or your computer. People will also watch that on their large home computers. And so it needs to be able to get big. It needs to be able to get big. And when you're designing, there's lots of resources about doing this and how to choose your URL and by the hosting, by the hosting and by the domain name at the end of this video. But I will say this, when you register your domain name, you can just even go on Google and just domain search. Make sure that you don't try to choose .com, right? They'll try to sell you on anything else, but .com is always the best, because you will lose so many people by using a anything else. And that helps with your Google search algorithm. Also, never put dots or dashes inside the name. The name should be descriptive. It should be, interesting. And it's the first one you think of is probably already taken, and that's okay. You can still find another name that will work in .com. Don't get swayed by those URL or the domain sellers that try to get you to use another one. The web host, also remember, you're going to have to pay that every year or every 5 years. And remember that your website is sort of the central place that people may find beyond your social media marketing channels for when they put your name into Google, and that's how people are going to find you. So it's so important that you do that you have something there always for them to find, and that it's always kept up to date, kept with fresh information. Don't put lots of information on the website that does need to be updated like daily or weekly, monthly, or twice a year could be enough. Unless you have somebody dedicated to doing just that, it takes a lot of time. And so you want to keep everything on there as evergreen as possible and make sure that it stays up to date. All right. So now we're going to stop this video here, and we will come back and talk about market segmentation and how you should define different target markets.